Welcome everyone to the penultimate round of this BR Championship. Today we are in the Circuit of the Americas for the Texas GP, as it's known now, because we have 3 races in the United States. Well, we got already 5 retirements on the quali session, which I guess is because they're serving quali bans. They have not set a lap time at all. They straight retired from the beginning. You can see it's the whole Alpine team that has decided to retire. No, not decided. This is being penalized most likely. Then we get 1 Aston, 1 Ferrari, and 1 Haas. Get Roman currently leading, followed by Isan. And well, the gap is really big. 6/10 difference between the top 2. It's a lot. So, well, the gap's pretty much split today, though. I apologize to be a little bit late, though I'll be there for the race 100%. So no worries about that. I'm gonna be commentating the whole event from now on. But it's surprising to me to see that the gap in this division is really big at this point. Well, probably is gonna close up, but still kind of surprising. We have still four drivers that have not set a lap at the moment. That would be the Ferrari of Ubi, Bran, Red Fire, and Sausage Joe. Got 7 minutes to go. We're gonna go on with no Seki. Well, I actually don't think it's on a lap. Yeah, he has invalidated the lap already. Has no battery as well, probably on an in lap at the moment, or on an, no, it's not on an out lap definitely. Some people coming out of the pit lane. Let's go onward maybe with some of the guys that have not set a lap time yet. We're gonna go on with Bran, who currently is finishing a flying lap. Should be the first one of the day. In the line he goes, moves up to second position, 5 tenths behind Romain, nearly 5 tenths behind. Still a big difference between him and the McLaren driver. Joe now has retired from the session as well. That's another driver that will not be setting a lap time and has retired on track. So, well, it's been voluntary retirement, so guys serving a penalty as well. A lot of people penalized today, I assume. We get then Bran, who's on an in lap. We get Eku, who's currently on P4. Now Gika moves into second position, 3 tenths behind Romain. Still a bit difference, and well, Romain is sitting comfortably on the pit lane right now. He's just gonna wait, I guess, to come out for the final lap. most people on the pit lane right now. We're still waiting for those last 3 minutes where it's usually when people start going out. Well, now Red Fire's moved up into second position. We have Adonis in P5. It's the Racing Bulls on a good position at the moment. P2 and P5, though, well, I think they do have enough time to come into the pit lane and try and do a last lap. At least Red Fire should be able to. Adonis looks a little bit more complicated due to the time remaining. I think he probably will not be able to pit and come out for another lap. He is not even on sector 3. He's a bit far from the pit lane for what's the time remaining in qualifying. Now it's 3 minutes to go. Well, I don't know what Adonis is actually... I don't know what Adonis is actually doing. What was doing in the pit lane entry, but well, managed to pit now and he's not gonna have time. Let's do another lap. Well, Isan, one of the first drivers to start that final run, coming now into the end of sector, the start of sector 1, the sector 2, sorry. Gonna follow him into the longest DRS straight, the longest straight in the track. This is where we will, of course, see the most overtakes today. It's a track that it's not hard to overtake. It's not the easiest track to overtake, but it's not hard to. Because of this long straight. The main straight you probably can't overtake unless you have a big advantage. And then, well, you can try and send it in some other corner around here, sector 3. It's also a good place to overtake if we want to talk of overtaking spots that are not straight. We follow now Isan on the final run, coming into the final 2 corners. Oh, it is going to invalidate, cuts the corner way too much. And that's going to be his qualifying over for the kick driver coming in the line, but it's not going to count at all. Improved to 110. I think would have been enough for P5 ahead of Adonis. Gonna go on with Romain. That's probably gonna take pole position, at least looks like it probably would take pole position. We have one McLaren, that's Yaya, that's about to cross the line. He's gonna move up into P5. It's a 31.5 for Yaya. 5 tenths behind his teammates. A big difference between teammates, but in grid spots it's not really bad. It's just it's a P1 and a P5. Going back with Romain. We follow him into the long straight. Behind him comes Red Fire, who's well, he's behind Romain also in his final run. Raz coming to the pit lane. He's not going to be improving that lap time. Then we got Jika, who is ahead of the top 2 right now on track. He's going to be the first of the top 3 at the moment to complete the lap. Following Jika now, and no, he's going to come into the pit lane. He's not going to complete the lap. He's going to be then between the top 2 only for pole position. And yeah, no one else is on the lap really. I think Arvin is, but he's probably not going to be getting up ahead. We follow now Romain, who's going to cross the line. He's going to defend his Pole position time proves to 10 at 38. Oh, and that's going to be red fire off the road. That's going to be pole position for Romain then. Has been decided in the final corner. Was red fire going to improve the temp? Wasn't going to be enough. So anyway, Romain the fastest on track today, 4 temps ahead of red fire, and this, well, could mean a lot in the race. We will have to see that start in the USA in this track. Many times the man on P2 gets a better run into turn 1 than the man starting in pole, but we will see if that's going to be the case or not today. And it's lights out and away we go. Who's gonna get the better start? And like I said before, the man on P2 many times gets a better start than the man starting on pole position. Down the inside goes red fire. He needs to give the room, doesn't give much room, therefore forces him a little bit off the road into turn 1, and red fire is your new race leader. Like I said, starting in that P2 spot might be better than starting on pole position here on the Circuit of the Americas for some reason. But well, quickly red fire takes the lead of the race, followed by Roman, then followed by Bran. Having a little bit of lag there as well. Leading the race goes the Racing Bull driver. Then we have Romain that, well, was much quicker in quality. Oh, but now down the inside, a dive bomb there from Bran takes the place there before the DRS straight. No DRS on, of course, yet. Now he's going to have to defend into the next corner. Roman's gonna try and get on the slipstream right at the back of the Williams car. Tries to block the room as much as possible around the outside. Roman might manage to retake the place, going side by side through sector 3. Now Brand's gonna try and take it all the way around the outside, banging wheels there with Roman. Roman will dive it down the inside. Maybe it's not gonna leave much room. No, he does leave enough room for the Williams driver to stick it there on the inside, and it's gonna be Brand who will be sticking into that second position. Not a great start at all for Roman there in the McLaren. We'll see now if he does have the pace to fight back. Well, like I said, it's not a hard track to overtake. Gonna have that long second DRS zone to try and overtake, though. Let's remember the dirty air is kinda annoying in this game, but I really don't see it's gonna be a problem to overtake. Remember Silverstone, for example, that was impossible to overtake. Probably it was the hardest track to overtake in this game I've seen so far. At least on BR it was. Got already a yellow flag in sector 1 from Ubi, the Ferrari driver. Red Fire leads 1.7 seconds ahead of Bran. Then we have Roman right at the back of him, 3 tenths behind the Williams driver. Now who's got the better exit into the DRS straight? Probably Roman is gonna try and get the move done against him. Bran does not have battery to defend. Oh, but moves really, really late there. Now probably is gonna be able to hold into his position. Now he has the advantage that both of them don't have really batteries, so they are on equal conditions. Banging a little bit of wheels there and that. All of this fighting is allowing Red Fire to pull away in the distance. Already has a nearly 2.5 second gap to Bran on P2. And well, if this continues how it's going, that gap will just extend more and more. This is great news for Red Fire, great news for the Racing Bull team. Well, the only bad news for the team is that Adonis has dropped down 2 positions, and well, at the moment it's not looking like he's going to be recovering those. Let's check the tire strategies. It's everyone on the mediums except, oh, Adonis on the hard, so that's also the reason why he lost most likely. Gatsu has made up a lot of places, 10 positions. What did he do there? 10 places gained by Gatsu. The Alpine driver is on a charge. Can he have the pace to challenge the leaders? Did he just get lucky on the start? We'll have to find out. Got a lot of people dropping many positions. That's Isan, Pantera, Noseki, Arin, Ubi, all of them having not great starts of the race. Then we get Mert, who's got gained 8 places, same as Dome, same as English. Well, interesting name, English. I don't know if that's it's kind of fun ID for an F1 game. Well, Gatsu now makes up another place, moves up to P5. The race is gonna be getting more interesting. Red Fire with much better pace than Bran, also because Bran won't have that extra speed on the straights because of lacking battery. Red Fire has, by the opposite, full battery. Well, not full battery exactly, but it's nearly full battery because he's been managing really well that, because he hasn't had to fight anyone apart that battle into turn 1 against Romain to take the lead of the race in lap 1. But then, oh, Jika is in the pit lane. Is this a really early undercut attempt, or is he picked any damage? So he does have wing damage, and I've just, well, Gatsu is out of the session. Heartbreaking for the man that's managed to. Look at Gatsu, did a great job moving himself up into P4. Now he's lagged out. Well, really unfortunate moment of the race for the Alpine driver. His teammate Mert did manage to make a lot of places as well. We'll see if his teammate can save the day. Well, now Adonis on those hard compound of tires will manage to get past the ghost of Gatsu. And now he's going to be attacking Yaya. Are those hards starting to work better than the mediums? I really don't think, but, well, Adonis is making the move against the teammate of Romain. Yaya falls down to P7 of the race. Now Mert is battling against the Ferrari of English. Arvin has retired from the race, but he's retired on track. And Mert's retired as well. Has there been a restart of something I don't know about? Yeah, there's definitely a restart because... Wait, is it a restart? I guess there is. Well, I can confirm we are having a restart, so just please wait patiently so till we are back. Lights out and away we go, and we get the starting positions of lap 4 of the previous round, of previous race that got, of course we got that red flag. And now, once again, Roman is gonna try and move up ahead of Brand, but can't this time. Red Fire does a good job holding to that lead of the race that, like we saw before, is not that easy to stick into on this track, where it's really easy for P2 to move into P1, into turn 1. And yeah, Red Fire did have to block him a little bit there, have to move to the inside, not allow Brand to move ahead. If not, he was gonna easily dive bomb him into turn 1. But well, he's made the start nice and clean. Now 5 attempts ahead of him, and well, now the thing is if he can open the gap once again. Let's not forget he was extending that gap by a big margin. Now it's Roman, the one that's on the attack, and Brand for some reason can't defend. He doesn't have the straight line speed, but that's Romain moving up ahead. Brand caught a little bit sleeping there. It's being overtaken by his rival in the McLaren car. Let's check the tires this time. Well, it's basically everyone on the mediums except Adonis. Like we saw before, there was another guy on the hards. I don't remember who it was in the previous race. But well, it's now Adonis, the only one on the hard set of tires. Now Red Fire is gonna need to start pulling away. He's in the limit of allowing or not allowing Romain to get that DRS, and definitely is not gonna be happy with the red flag. Yeah, like I said, he had a safe win if nothing weird happened. Well, finally the weird thing that happened was the red flag. 1 second ahead of Romain. Let's see if he can extend the gap. He is extending the gap now, 1.1 seconds ahead of Romain. The dirty air must be affecting him in some way as well. Romain that, well, it's also really low on battery. Red Fire has better battery savings than him. Bran is also in the middle, less than the middle of his battery. And now Brand's gonna have a chance to attack Roman for that second position of the race. Gets on the slipstream, gets the DRS on. And I was gonna try and retake that second position. Moves really late Romain on the straight, but finally Brand will manage to get the move done. Romain had to yield there to not make it a big crash between the two of them. Now Brand is once again in the same position he was on the previous race, and maybe now it's gonna be a hard moment for Romain to try and overtake him like we saw in the previous race. Well, it's 26 laps remaining on this United States GP, well, Texas GP as it's known now. Romain dropping a lot of time compared to Brand. He's having a nightmare there with the Williams driver. The Williams driver is now going to try and chase up for Red Fire, but I think Red Fire has found a really good Sector 1 like we saw before. Now he's extending the gap to 1.2, but in previous laps he managed to extend even more in this first sector. We'll see if the story will repeat. Well, not exactly in this case. This time he's losing a little bit against Brand, who's only 1.1 seconds behind. Now it's going to be DRS for Romain. Well, we already saw Brand managing Romain in the previous race, and he managed this time against him once again. The gap is 6 tenths. I think he can manage to hold him behind, especially if he's already done it in the past race, like I said. We get now into the DRS straight, and well, Romain is really quick there. Maybe Brand is trying to save something, but this time he can't do anything to defend his position. And it's 1.3 second gap between the top two. But Brand seems to be under control here. There's also Jika right at the back of the two guys fighting for P2. Gatsu that finally has managed to recover his position that he was losing thanks to the disconnection. Well, he's back into P5 of the race after starting at the very back of the grid. 5 tenths now behind Jika, and well, the one that's flying now on tracks Red Fire. He was far in qualifying from Romain, but now in the race his pace is much better than the McLaren driver. You can see how he started to pull away. And well, this game demonstrates that quali is not everything. The race and quali pace can be really different. We saw Romain dominating qualifying, now we are seeing Red Fire dominating the race, but it's F1, it's racing, you never know what's gonna happen till the end. At the moment we could think it's a safe win for the Racing Bull driver, but we never know what can happen in the coming laps. Till the last lap there's nothing said, till the checker flag there's nothing said. Ran right at the back of Romain with really good battery saving. There's a yellow flag from one of the Ferraris, I think. Here comes Gran, is going to recover his position against Romain. Down the inside he goes, moves up to second position once again. Now it's Jika who's trying to attack Romain as well. Romain had a great quali, not having a great race at the moment. Like I said, being put under pressure by the Aston Martin driver. Around the outside, it goes the Aston driver, but not yet attacking, following as close as he can to that McLaren. McLaren is also following that Williams of Gran. We're having some battle here in the midfield. It's English against Sanity for P13 of the race. We're also having Echo against Mert. Joe, that's fighting as well against Echo. Big fights moving up on the grid. Then we get, oh, that's Ubi out of the race, and, well, nothing's going to come from that. Red Fire leads the race, 1.6 tenths ahead of Gran, 1 tenths, whatever. But anyway, Red Fire was pulling away in the first laps. Now the pace seems to be even between the top two. This could mean the race is still open. Track position seems to be not very important, but it's still important. We see Gran first was changing a lot of positions with Rome, but now it's Gran that has kept up there in that second place, and I think an undercut could well change everything here. If Gran or Roman go for it, I think Red Fire is definitely not safe. Maybe Red Fire is going to be the first one to pit, having fear about an undercut, or, well, why not maybe even Jika or Gatsu could be planning to go for that move on the pit lane. I think we have a five-way fight for the win, maybe even a six-way fight, because Adonis is coming strong now on those hard tires. Though we already know the story of the hard. Starting on hard is a very risky decision in this game, because the mediums don't really last a lot. The undercut is strong, and then you have to make your way through on the mediums. Though on a track like this, where its overtaking chances are bigger than on other tracks, maybe it could actually work. Well, it's 2.2 seconds the difference between, no, 2.5 now, difference between Adonis and Gatsu. We will see if he starts closing up the gap now. Still being put under pressure by Gergo, who's just being overtaken by him. Also, Gergo needs to try and help his teammate Gika. Dome has retired from the race, retired on track, but that's thankfully not going to bring out a safety car. Like I said before, the gap between the top two is not changed that much. Roman starts to struggle a little bit against Bran, is dropping a little bit the pace there, and he has no battery at all. Absolutely no battery. Bran has a little bit better savings, and, well, Red Fire is on a better position, but not a great position as well. It's half his battery. Adonis 2.5 seconds behind Gatsu. Let's not forget as well that he doesn't have the DRS advantage, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult to close up the gap into the leaders. But also in the corners, he should be gaining much more time against them. Noseki is out of the race. 3 retirements already in only 7 laps. It's a big number in my opinion, at least for a league of the level of this one. A competition of VR level, 3 DNFs is not what you would expect in this early stages of the race. Now Red Fire losing a little bit of time, but well, basically just 1 or 2 attempts against Bran. Bran who wants to close up that gap. Tire management is also really important on this game. And well, if Bran's managing better those tires than Red Fire is, then we could have a fight very, very soon. We're gonna see this guy spinning around only lap 12, I would say, would be the safe option. Unless you want to go the undercut, maybe you could go on lap 10, but it's gonna be risky to take those used tires to the end of the race a little later. Adonis still not managing to close up the gap to the leaders. In fact, he's still suffering against Gergo. So I really don't see him in contention. Maybe in the last stint, if he manages to extend those and still have good performance in those hard tires. You're gonna have to analyze every racing track. How much are the fresh tires gonna really do the difference around here? Because Adonis is already 7 laps in those hards and is still not gaining that much time against the guys ahead. And well, Gergo still matching kinda his pace. Adonis blasting the battery, but Gergo now is gonna go down the inside, will take the move, make the place. And that's Gergo once again in front of the Racing Bull driver. Not great moment for the Racing Bull of Adonis. His teammate at the moment leading the race. Well, if that strategy manages to show that it works later on, it could be a great day for the Racing Bull team. If not, then it's just going to be Red Fire that's going to be fighting for important things today. But well, this track seems that the tires don't die as fast as other tracks. We already see everyone extended those mediums to lap 9 of the race. Going to be 9 laps of those, and probably they're going to take them, like I said, to lap 12 is going to be the right call. Bert now follows the back of Joe, the Williams driver on P8, being followed by the Alpine. Now we go into the SS of the USA track. Oh, and that's Romain. Romain is off. Romain is off and into the grass. What's happened there? Did he have contact with someone? Well, that's a really unfortunate moment. Oh, well, the pole sitter from pole to disaster at the moment for the McLaren driver. Now that's moved up Gika into P3 of the race. Well, Paul didn't really give him absolutely anything to the McLaren driver. Now he's definitely out of the contention for the win, unless a miracle really happens. He is totally out of this. Well, now we gotta see what Gika's pace really is, what Gatsu's pace really is. Well, Gatsu now can think about a move against Gika. Having in mind, Gika doesn't have DRS to defend himself, at least by now. Now we're gonna have to see if any of these two has the pace to catch up to Bran, or maybe even to Red Fire. They were being held by the DRS train. Now Gatsu is really close to the back of Gika, both with similar amount of battery. But he's definitely not gonna try into this straight, he needs to wait to the next one. Gika is losing time against Bran, he doesn't seem to have the pace. And we get Mert in the pit lane, we got the Romain in the pit lane as well. The Romain's race was already basically ruined. Mert's in the pit lane. Both on the hard set of tires now. Well, Gika is definitely not fast right now. Gatsu, if he does have the pace, he's gonna have to clear him very quick if he still wants a chance to fight for this win of the race. Well, I don't know if Gika's issue is straight he doesn't have the pace, or is simply the stars aren't in good conditions. Or maybe it could be both, which would be really bad for him. His teammate is only 2 seconds behind. There goes Gatsu. We knew it was going to be an easy move for the Alpine that started at the backs already on podium positions and is only less than 4 seconds off the lead of the race. We could have Gatsu winning this one. But well, time will tell. We're still not even in half of the race. I would say it's a 3-way battle for the win today. Red Fire on the lead at the moment has been the most solid driver on the field. Brand that doesn't give up, still matching the lap times of the race leader. And then we have Gatsu that's, well, now losing a little bit of time. No, he's gone into the pit lane. Gatsu's going for the undercut. Speeding on lap 11 of the race. Like I said, no, lap 10 of the race. Like I said, if you want to do an undercut, it had to be on lap 10. Then the normal would have been lap 12. I think, in my opinion, would have been the most safe decision. Well, now everyone else is going to have to react. The gap between Bran and Gatsu was 2 seconds. I don't know if 2 seconds is what you can gain in one lap of undercut. But if that's the case, then Bran must go into the pit lane right now, or he is going to suffer the undercut against Gatsu. Gatsu's fall down with clean air. He has 9 seconds of clean air in front of him, so he's not going to struggle at all in this out lap, apart of warming up those tires. That shouldn't be an issue as well. They are fresh hards. Now it's when the top 2 should pit. And well, finally Red Fire managed to extend the gap a little bit more against Bran. It's now a 2.1 second gap. Previously it was around 1.6 to 1.8. And now he's managed to improve some tests. Hollis is not even trying to fly. Maybe Bran is trying to save the tires a little bit. Oh, Bran is struggling also with the tires. See how he's gliding. Yeah, he definitely needs to come to the pit lane now. Red Fire is in the pit lane. Bran is not going to follow. Maybe that slide will cost him the position against Gatsu. Into the pit lane they go. Gika in the pit lane as well. But I think most likely Gatsu is going to be jumping. He's going to jump Bran definitely, I think. I don't see a way Bran is coming out front. Bran coming off the pit lane. Maybe did I got it wrong? Gatsu is on the main straight. He's gonna be, yeah, he's gonna be ahead of Bran, like I said, but Bran is just there on the back of him. But really successful undercut there from Gatsu against Bran. But now Bran's gonna have 1 lap pressure tires. Not gonna be a big difference, but it could be still decisive by the end of the race. You know, these drivers at their level. A little bit of better tires could make the difference, especially on a track where it's not hard to overtake. There's going to be a battle between Bran and Gatsu for that P2 of the race. We'll see if Gatsu can do anything against Red Fire that now has a 2.6 second lead. And with fresher tires, then the man following him could be, well, all the cars on the podium would be blue and none of the same team, which is interesting to see. Now Joe comes into pit lane, one of the last drivers to pit. That's going to leave Red Fire in the lead of the race, followed by Gatsu and followed by Bran. Bran that now will definitely be on a charge to retake that spot that belonged to him before. But well, his fight against Red Fires. Oh, and Gatsu's out of the race. He's out of the session. And that's gonna make life easier for Brando's just gonna blast past through him. Literally through him because he's a ghost. So there goes Brand into second place of the race. Connection issue for Gatsu that will try and get back to the lobby now, but well, it's probably gonna lose a lot of positions and time and stuff, you know. And now this is a 3-second lead for Red Fire that's managing really well this race. Romain, even after the accident, after the spin, he's up into 7th position. Well, he managed to recover really well there. Gatsu now falling down into P. He's gonna fall down into P5 right now because both Astons are gonna get past him. Well, Gergo with a penalty there and has his teammate right at the back of him. Maybe he can try and carry him because I think Gergo has better pace. Well, it seems Gergo has better pace. Really, Giga couldn't demonstrate have that pace when he should have tried and chase after Bran, and he really couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Red Fire is flying in the lead of the race. The gap has extended already to a 3.4. Gap that was around, like I said, 1.6 to 1.8 before the pit stop. Then in the in lap, the gap extended to around 2.3 seconds. Now, after the pit stops, the gap is nearly 3.5. Well, now in the midfield, we have battle between Eku and Isan. Eku attacking Isan for that P9 of the race, though, well, Isan actually has a really early stop. He's gonna have to stop again, definitely. But was maybe helping a little bit steamy there. Adonis now gets time penalty as well. Oh, banging a little bit of wheels though, the cars there. But it's finally gonna be Eku making the place of ahead. Marcus now. Well, gave a little help to his teammate as well there. Marcus now gonna get in a run there against Eku. Eku dives it. Oh, what is that? What is that? Not really friendly moves there between Eku and Isan. Well, Isan did what he could to help his teammate get the move done, and well, that implied crashing with Eku as well. Roma now gets past Gatsu's ghost. Gatsu that, well, seems like he will not be coming back into this race. Well, now the gap has extended up to 4 seconds between the top two. And yeah, nothing really happening at the moment. Basically, we've reached a calm point of the race. No battle at the moment for the lead, no battle for second position as well. We got both teammates helping each other, basically giving pace to each other, helping each other with the DRS. That will help them as well against Roman. That's maybe has the better pace than these two, but these two working with DRS will try and do their best to not allow him to close up the gap, especially for Gergo who has a time penalty. Let's look at the penalties. Well, Gergo does have a 6-second time penalty, so well they need to try and bring some pace if they wanna finish in front of Roman, both of them. Joe is not far from Roman as well. Joe could be on for a move really soon. Mert does have the same tire age as Roman, so probably he's not going to be closing up. But he's probably going to be losing DRS to Joe really soon. Gatsu has not been able to join back. I think he probably will not be able to join back this lobby. There goes Eku down the inside of Marcos. Battle for P9 of the race. Well, it's not really a battle because Eku has time penalty. He's going to lose a place against Marcos anyway. Yeah, really not much to watch at the moment. We got Sanity against Pantera, I guess one of the fights for P13 of the race. Let's review the whole grid. Red Fire leading, followed by Brand, then comes Gika, then comes Gergo, that well, both helping each other with the DRS like I said before, and they nearly managed to open the 6 seconds to Roman, so well, good job there to the Astons. They might bring home that 3-4 finish. As it's going now, Joe is going to be a menace to Roman as well. Roman with the older tires being catch up by Joe. Joe, the Williams driver, on a charge now, is going to try and get the overtake done against the McLaren of Roman. Roman goes defensive, is going to try and weave to cut the slipstream a little bit there. Well, the moment he makes a move to the inside, comes back to his normal line without doing anything dangerous. Let's follow this battle for P5 of the race. Could be crucial as well in the final, in the top 5 positions, because also let's not forget, if Joe has better pace, maybe he could chase up for Gergo's position thanks to the penalties. Joe 5 tenths behind Romain. A nice battle here for P5 of the race, leads by now. If the safety car comes out, then it's going to be really interesting. Well, the number of DNFs we've had, it's I don't know how likely or unlikely is safety car to happen. Following now says Joe, he stays on the DRS with Romain. Doesn't have the enough straight line speed to get past in turn 1. It wouldn't be a great decision to make a move into turn 1, having in mind then he will be getting the DRS to the next long straight. I think maybe this could be Joe's best chance to overtake. getting on the slipstream now into the long DRS straight, down the inside. Yeah, Roman's not even going to try and defend it. There it goes. We have a new 5th position on the race. That's going to be Joe up into P5, followed by Roman, though. He's not going to give up. Maybe he doesn't have his pace, but maybe he can try and stick to the DRS and try and challenge later on. This will complicate a little bit the Astons now that at least we could say Gergo is in danger because Joe has better pace than the McLaren driver. They were pulling away. Maybe now they can try and match Joe's pace to try and stick into that P4. If Joe is just a little bit faster than Gergo, then that's going to be game over for him. Gergo nearly loses the DRS against teammate. His teammate also on a chase there to close up the gap with Gran. Gran that it's not having a great stint at all on these hard tires. He had the really good pace on the mediums. Now on the hards he's fell down a lot. Let's not forget Gika trying to chase Bran with the mediums was Gika in his struggles. Now Gika trying to chase him on hards. Well, the fight for the podium is on. 1.5 seconds separation between the two contenders for that second place of the race. Gran and Gika 1.6 now. Well, it's going to be a long way to the line. Meanwhile, Joe has not been able to close up, getting to those 6 seconds off Gergo. Gergo will be managing to stick in that 4th position at least by now. Meanwhile, Romain is really struggling to stay into the back of Joe. Even though Romain should have better pace than Joe, but because of the tire difference, it's just 3 laps, but still, you can see there's a difference between those tires. A yellow flag, that is one of the McLarens, obviously Yaya, because Roman is not the one who's on there. Quickly we get the green flag, and now the gap starts extending between Gika and Bran. Now Gergo is going to move up ahead of his teammate Gika. So Gika maybe was starting to struggle a little bit there in that DRS train. This also might help a little bit Joe to close up the gap. The gap's now 5.9 seconds. Now, well, 6 seconds. Well, the gap between him and Gergo is... Oh, and Gergo picks up another time penalty. That's game over though. Well, now they should focus then. Oh, but now Joe picks up a penalty. That is going to complicate him as well. And against Roman too. Roman could be on for a... Well, and we got 5 laps to go to finish this Texas GP. It's Red Fire in the lead of the race, followed by Brand, followed by Gergo, Gika, and Joe. Well, like we said before, Gergo seemed to have much better pace than Gika, but yeah, unfortunately for Gergo, he has those 9 seconds of penalties. Would have been really good if he didn't get those corner cuts. But still, well, his teammate is gonna be able to grab a podium. Well, I don't know why Geek's pace is falling down so much. We saw him drop as well in the first stint. Maybe his setup or his driving style degrades more tires. Could be a possibility. And I think we are a bit late for a safety car right now. It still could happen though, but yeah, well, if safety car happens now, it could get really, really crazy. So let's not forget that's not a hard track to overtake. And people, especially the leaders, I don't know if they would want to pit because they will lose track position, or they could lose track position, but if it's worth for having the better tires, then they have to go for it. But well, I'm talking about something that's probably not going to happen anyway. Probably not going to be getting a safety car. So Gergo is now already right at the back of Bran. He's pushing as hard as he can. He's going to be aiming to take that second place of the race, at least on track. And yeah, story could be different if he didn't have those penalties, of course. Now he goes down the inside, makes the move. Oh, they hung wheels a little bit there. I think that was totally unnecessary, but thankfully looks like there was no damage done there. And that's 5-second lead for Red Fire in the Racing Bulls. His teammate unfortunately had to DNF, but now, well, Red Fire is going to bring the team a great victory today, dominant from the beginning. Just took the lead away from Roman, who seemed to be the quickest man today, but well, quali's thing, races another totally different. And in the races, Red Fire, the one that's dominated absolutely everything. Same as Romain dominated qualifying, Red Fire has dominated the race. They're gonna bring a victory here in the Circuit of the Americas. Well, really not much to watch at the moment. Let's check the gap between Gergo and his closest rivals for that podium spot. No, not podium, for that P4 spot, because yeah, Gika's gonna be getting the podium 100% sure. Then Yo has a 3-second time penalty, so he is actually 6 seconds behind Gergo, so Gergo should still be ahead of him. And Roman, by obvious reasons, will still be behind him. So yeah, Gergos apparently will manage to save that P4 finish for today. Joe also showing much better pace than Geeka. I don't know what's happening to Geeka. Like I said, it's probably a tire degradation issue, or it could also be saving fuel. I don't think it's that one. It would be weird if he doesn't come prepared to a league race knowing the fuel he needs for the car. So I would assume he is trying to save the tires, or tires simply have died and he's not been able to control the pace on those dead parts. But we are coming now into the final lap of the race. It's going to be a great victory for Redfire. He kept extending the gap. Now he's extended it up to 6.6 seconds. Probably going to be a 7-second win. Grant now goes all the way around the outside. But Gergo will manage to stay ahead. I think you should let him go probably. Still fighting against him. I don't know why he should give priority to the pace, because yeah, his issue is time penalties. He definitely doesn't want to lose time against Joe and Romain that will be able to remove him from that position. While in the end it might be a 8-race win for Redfire. We get now into the second DRS straight, moving the car a lot of times. Oh, and they came together there, and that wasn't good at all. Not clean at all by the two of them. I think probably Bran was trying to bring Gergo closer into his teammate. Oh, and that's going to be a massive dive on there from Gergo. I think, yeah, he's pushing him off the road. He wants his teammate to get past him. He's going to do everything now for Geeka to make it up into that second place. Lets him go. But I think there's not much that can be done now. Well, he gets a bit better traction there. But let's not forget Geeka is struggling with the tires. And well, all this is going to demote Gergo down into P6 of the race. Redfire wins by 11 seconds thanks to all this happening in the final lap. Now it's going to be 12 seconds most likely. Nearly 12 seconds. Bran in second, Geeka in third. Joe manages to make it into P4, so we could say the Williams plan worked very well there. Well, finally they lose the position against Romain. Position Joe probably would have got if not of all what happened in this final lap. Gergo finally down into P6. Mert into P7, Marco on P8, Eku will finish on P9, Gatsu will manage to get a top 10, surprisingly. A great, well, he managed to recover as much as he could. Wasn't going to be able to get much, to be honest, apart from this. Well, that's it for today. We will be back next week for the last round. Thanks to all for watching once again. I think it was a pretty interesting race, in my opinion. Maybe not the most fun in general, but it was strategic. We had different pace between the drivers, chasing sometimes saving most likely. But yeah, in the end, the dominant victory for Fire anyway. So, but still, I enjoyed the battles through the field. And well, unfortunately, we got those connection issues at the beginning, and well, we've got to as well. But yeah, we'll meet again next week for the final round. Bye.